Yeah, we back. Now, today is going to be a quick video, and I'm going to go into a topic that I've gone into many times in the past. One thing I've said on my channel, and I still stand by, and I'll always say that, morality does not exist. The world is about power. Life is a competition amongst men. And whatever you need to do to acquire and maintain that power, you do that for the prosperity and safety of your women and children. That's what I live by. That's my doctrine. All right. That's my doctrine. Now, sometimes when I say that, I get comments from certain brothers because, as you know, we have many of our brothers from the Christian background, the Christian orientation. And me, I'm a Pan-Africanist, so I don't really care about the religious separation. I don't care if you're a Muslim. I don't care if you just a traditionalist, a Christian, a Protestant. I do not care. As long as you're a black man, you my brother, we family, we on the same team. That's how I see the world. Many people don't see it that way. It is what it is. But when it comes to right and wrong, morality, things like that, to me, it's about whatever you can get away with. As you can see, the most powerful nation in the world, the United States, and many of its allies, they did not acquire their wealth and power and prestige on the world stage by morality, by being friendly with other people. No, we know how they acquired it. We don't got to get into the history lesson, and we know how they maintain it. We understand how it goes. We know how the world works. So due to the fact that I have a high level of situational awareness, I cannot operate on a basis of morality when I live in a world that, just by looking around, studying the history, studying the past, and looking around right now, I can see that morality is nowhere in this equation. Now, one thing I do believe in is morality among your own people. I do believe that you should have a level of morality when dealing with your own family, your own community, absolutely. But when it comes to outsiders and foreign adversaries, in my opinion, anything goes. We could take it any which way. It don't even matter. That's my mentality. I'm standing by that. And I got brothers that they don't really agree with me, and that's fine as long as we both agree on the fact that we both desire to see a future where our people can live safe, stress-free, and enjoy the luxuries and amenities of life without having to leave our home countries. A future where black men are powerful and respected on the economic and political stage. Now, on this video, we're gonna play some clips. I hope I don't get copyright. I'm gonna play some interviews from men who have served in high-level positions in the US government, such as the position of CIA director and things like that. And they're gonna talk about the mentality they had when they were serving in that position, right? When they were defending the national security and the national interests of the United States government. And the type of mentality that black men should have. And maybe you can understand why I have the mentality that I have. Now, let's get into it. I'm gonna run the footage and I'm gonna come back with my commentary. Let's go.
The CIA, we didn't give a hoot about democracy. I mean, it was fine if a government was elected and would cooperate with us. But if it didn't, then democracy didn't mean a thing to us. And I don't think it means a thing today.
What right have you, when I mean you, the CIA, the United States government, or any foreign power, what right do you have to do what you do in other countries? What
National
right?
security interests.
But that's a divine right, isn't it? Because the people that you do it to have no say in this.
Yeah, well, that's just tough. And let's not forget that.
Right, no, I won't.
We'll intervene whenever we decide it's in our national security interest to intervene. And if you don't like it, lump it. Get used to it, world. We're not going to put up with nonsense. And if our interests are threatened, we're going to do it.
All right, we back. Now, as you can see in the first video, the man was speaking about democracy. And what he said was interesting to me. He said democracy doesn't mean anything to me. And democracy is another word for morality, right? Fairness, equality, right? It's one of those buzzwords that people love to throw around. But in reality, similar to morality, democracy is also a myth. It does not exist. The only thing the United States government cares about, and any other powerful government around the world, the only thing that matters is maintaining and protecting the national interests of the nation and the national security of the nation. That's it. Anything that goes against a nation's national security or national interests, all bets are off. Anything goes. Anything goes. We can take it all the way there. That's the mentality. That is the mentality that is held by all the most powerful men in the world. Sure, we can put on an image of morality, an image of democracy, but if you go against my interests, if you go against my agenda, I have an obligation to destroy you. Not only you, but everybody that loves you and everybody that's coming behind you. That's the mentality that they got. And that's the mentality that you got to have as a black man. You remember in the second clip when the question was asked, what right do you have to do what you do? He said it immediately, straight up. National security interest. Point blank, baby. National security interest. And in the name of national security, we'll do anything. And that's the mind state that you got to have as a black man. Individually and also collectively. You see, as black men, I don't understand why it's so hard for us to chew gum and, you know, walk at the same time. For example, we think we got to choose between nationalism and Pan-Africanism. No, you can still be a nationalist. You can still be a black man that has pride in your country and still want the best for your country, and also operate in a Pan-African framework in terms of international relations. At the end of the day, we all have the same common adversaries, the same common enemies. So the things that I say, it shouldn't be rocket science. It should really be common sense. And the part that I loved the most was when the interviewer said, well, the people that you carry out these operations against, they have no say. I thought you represent democracy. He was like, man, well, tough shit. I mean, it is what it is, baby. I mean, national security, you know what it is, man. And in the name of national security, we'll do whatever. Who gives a fuck what a nigga think? That's the mentality that you got to have as a black man. Because whether you like it or not, the opponent, the adversary, the enemy, that's how he's coming. That's how he's coming to the game. That's how he's stepping on the field. Remember what he said. We'll intervene whenever it is in our national interest to intervene. And if you don't like it, lump it. AKA, nigga, if you don't like it, do something, nigga. If you don't like it, then try to stop it. That's the mentality that they got. They come in on some gangster shit. So you can't be coming on some kumbaya morality, let's hold hands and hug each other. Nah, you got to come on some gangster shit too. Politically and economically. You got to come on some gangster shit too. Because that's the only thing people respect. People only respect power. They don't respect that morality bullshit. They don't respect that democracy bullshit. They respect power. They respect force. They respect wealth. They respect prestige. And until we start accumulating some power, wealth, and prestige, nobody is going to care about a goddamn thing we got to say. Because as long as you don't got no power or wealth on a collective level to defend yourself and protect yourself, like he said, listen, we're going to protect ourselves and our national security interests. If you cannot protect yourself and your national security interests, you're going to get ran over. Now, I believe yesterday, or it was the day before, it was Dr. Amos Wilson's birthday. Now, Dr. Amos Wilson, that is one of my, venerated, that is one of the ancestors that I venerate on a very high level. I'm one of his students, And when I say student, I don't mean that I really studied under him directly. In fact, he passed away shortly before I was born. But in terms of my journey of self-education, that is one of my teachers. That is one of my professors. I have every one of his books. I've watched every one of his lectures. And that's why many people ask me, or they are surprised why I have the mentality that I have at the age that I am. But when you study under legends, under messengers like Dr. Amos Wilson, I mean, you already know what it is. So anyways, I'm going to run a clip. I'm going to pay homage. Happy birthday, Dr. Amos Wilson. Happy belated birthday. Unfortunately for Dr. Amos Wilson, black people don't venerate our ancestors unless white people give us permission, Like they give MLK a holiday, they don't give Malcolm X a holiday, so we don't celebrate it. They don't give Dr. Amos Wilson a holiday, so we don't celebrate it. They choose who we venerate. And, like the idiots that we are, we just follow behind whatever white people say. But in this video, I'm going to pay homage to the legend, the ancestor, Dr. Amos Wilson, because I think what he's saying in this video is a great way to end it off. So anyways, I'm going to run the footage and I'm gone. Peace.
Sense means preventing and neutralizing the perpetrators of racism. Ultimately, it means, ladies and gentlemen, removing the Europeans' ability to perpetrate racism in the world. Not getting the European to love us, not getting the European to so assimilate with us or to accept us, but getting the European in a position where no matter how scandalous he is in terms of us, he can do a doggone thing about it. Because we then have the power in and of ourselves to defend ourselves against his insult and against his slander. Ultimately then the removal of racism from the world would mean the ultimate neutralizing of European power. But many of us are not ready yet to take on that task. Many of us are still afraid that we are not up to that task, that we cannot defeat the European, that we cannot neutralize the European. So we have opted for some kind of armistice, some type of suing for peace, some type of getting along, because we figure that is the best that we can do. Then in this sense, then we will be continued to be possessed by an alien spirit. And that alien spirit then will speak to us. When we then fail to believe in ourselves as people, it is because that spirit has taken over us, and it says to us what the European has said: you can't succeed, you can't run the world on your own, you're incapable of having a culture. Without us you wouldn't have VCRs, you wouldn't have TVs, because see, you're not technical and you love it. You wouldn't have compact disc, and you're into your music, you see, and you wouldn't have this and you wouldn't have that. Europeans are mathematically gifted, and you are not mathematically oriented, and Jews can count money, and you don't know how to keep money. That means that there's a spirit in us, and that spirit whispers to us, and it keeps us from attempting many of the things that we should attempt. This can only occur when we have been separated from our African selves. The alienated African then lacks insight and clear, realistic vision.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in the ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching, he blocking my vision. Pay for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young Money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This shit is an art, and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands, cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and get smack in their faces.